This video is brought to you by me! Well, our team at least. This Friday, we are doing our last Pokemon D&D stream of the year over on our Twitch channel. This week, the party will be entering a contest to capture a legendary Pokemon. The first team to capture it and donate it to the Aura Guardians gains instant access to the league. And that's the plot. If you've been waiting for a good jumping on point to our game, this is it. There are some very minor spoilers, but even those aren't crazy. I'm going to reveal them now. But whatever. There's a rival team where some Pokemon are trainers being led by a Zeraora named Oreo, and the league doesn't like that. And that's it. That's all you need to know to enjoy this stream. Come on over Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to enjoy the campaign with us. We'll work in some audience participation too, but watching us on YouTube and Twitch helps pay for foolish things like food, mortgage, and Christmas presents. Thank you, and I'll see you there. Howdy friendos, my name is Stuart, and welcome to the part of the channel where we take a look at pop culture characters and determine what alignment they are in Dungeons & Dragons. So, I've noticed that Animaniacs got a reboot, and you know, I want that sweet, sweet search engine optimization, and naturally I looked into it, and I realized it might actually be impossible to actually give an alignment to the Animaniacs. And that's mostly because of a few things. The Animaniacs is a variety show kinda like the Muppets, and doing my alignment dings for characters that are performing a skit doesn't necessarily translate one-to-one. To those that didn't grow up in the 90s, the Animaniacs were a variety children's show starring the Warner Brothers and Warner sister, Yakko, Wakko, and Dot, respectively. Their shtick was pretty simple. They were something of a bunch of troublemakers that live on the Warner movie lot, and it was the job of the security to contain them. And that's pretty much it. They got into a lot of hijinks, and there were also plenty of other jokes and skits that they would do on the side. The show hosted a huge cast of characters that also had little segments and sketches with varying degrees of success, including Goodfeathers, Slappy the Squirrel, and plenty of others. Recently, a reboot came out on Hulu that's done pretty good on capturing the magic of the old show, but a lot of the original cast had to be cut down to mostly the Warner siblings and the Pinky and the Brain. Now, this video will not feature the reboot. Instead, I want to take a look at the entirety of the old cast. As many of you know, I sometimes get really extra taking a look at characters throughout their entire history, but I can't really do that today since I'm looking at a variety show. This series is more about character arcs and natural character progression rather than hastily labeling people and moving on. I may rip on CinemaSins a bit, but damn it, you can't say I don't put in more effort. So, what are we to do? I want to exploit search engine traffic, but I also don't want to take a look at 1,000 episodes of an old show. Fortunately for us, we have just the loophole. Today we will be looking at a feature-length movie that also served as the old show's series finale. Wakko's Wish places the whole cast into a vague, sorta 19th century fairy tale world. In the movie, the peaceful country of Warnerstock was overthrown by the Chinese spy app, TikTok, led by a man named Winnie the after Activision Blizzard bent the knee to communist money. Support Hong Kong. There is no joke. After the hostile takeover by a foreign nation, the king sent out tax collectors to go and take money from the people to fill the royal coffers. After years of this sort of extreme taxation and subjugation, the movie begins with the village explaining how poor they are. Wakko Warner then left the village for a year to head out and collect his fortune, a haypenny, which is then immediately taxed by his local government. After this cruel yet true display of taxation being theft, maybe I'm making this too political, just like the reboot. After that, Wakko makes a wish on a random star in the sky, which turns out to be a magical wish-granting star. He is greeted by a character named Pip, or better known as the
Desire Fulfillment Facilitator,
and is then told that he needs to head to the star, and the first person to touch it is granted one wish. The next day, the siblings tell everyone what they learned, and thus everyone runs off in a massive race to touch the star. Hijinks ensue. It's a pretty good time, and what's awesome about this movie is that we learn what every character wants, and what desires they have, and what goals they want to accomplish. Since this is a de facto season finale of a long-running series, everyone remains in character and are the best versions of themselves. So, like the other videos where I label a bunch of characters at once, we'll be heading beat by beat through the movie, labeling their individual actions or characters as a whole when we get to them. The Warner siblings, however, we're just gonna start at chaotic neutral because, guys, if you've never watched the show, just accept this as their alignment. They're wacky, zany pranksters. Do they get development though? Maybe. Let's see. And with that, let's go.
My friends of Acme Falls, I give you my fortune. A haypenny!
Hey, look at that! Animaniacs predicted the wages of the average YouTuber. At the beginning of the movie, Wakko leaves for a year in order to seek his fortune. He returns with a hay penny. The whole town sings a song about how he's now rich. If you don't know, a hay penny is the smallest form of currency the US ever had, with a value of half a cent.
You plan to spend your hay penny on what?
An operation to save my sister Dot.
Anyway, he says he's going to spend the money to save his sister Dot. Neutral good.
Hey! We can't let him do that to Wakko. It's unfair.
After the Haypenny song, Baron von Plotz taxes his entire 1-year salary from him. Yakko objects until the guards step in. He then pins their ire on the town mime. Yes, it's played for laughs, but we nitpick movies here, damn it. Neutral evil.
Tell me the story, please.
Yakko clearly is the main caretaker of the family. Yeah, he's just telling a bedtime story here, but he's just kind of the general caretaker of his siblings in general. Neutral good.
Who are you?
I'm your desire fulfillment facilitator.
During an earlier song, Wakko wished upon a star, and as the chaotic luck of the universe would have it, he triggered a cosmic event where a fairy descended from the sky, and he said that he would grant a wish if he touched where the star landed on Earth. There's some comedy here and there, and that's chuckle-worthy, but there really isn't any sort of wild alignment change here. Neutral, I guess.
You'll soon find out because we're going to go to the wishing star, to the wishing stars.
Okay, first of all, I love this frickin' song. It gets nuts. Pure Animaniacs ridiculousness right here. This is entirely a personal preference, but just put the Nat 20 song up there, please. Thank you. Anyway, the Animaniacs kinda dumbly tell the entire town about the effects of the wishing star. This causes everyone to rush out at once and try to get it. They even comment that they probably should have kept the details of the star to themselves, but the cat's out of the bag now. To be honest, I thought this was lawful neutral at first since they told everyone the truth, but I think chaotic neutral is more appropriate since they did it on a whim and it just shows the Warners are kind of dumb. Feel free to disagree though, since I'm not even super sure about this. Right, so pretty much most of the movie after this is everyone racing to the wishing star, so I'm just gonna rapid fire as much as I can on the rest of the cast before we head back to the Warners.
I don't want to see them again. Alive.
During the race to the star, we are introduced to the main villain in person, King Salazar the Pushy, and we may as well get him out of the way. Dude took over a country in a hostile takeover and then forced new taxes on the country in order to increase his own personal wealth. He also orders von Plotz to assassinate the Warner siblings because they are apparently rightful heirs to the throne. Spoilers, by the way. He in fact tries to have them killed multiple times. And it's not like he's interested in running a country. This is all for personal advancement. This is a chaotic evil king who cares for nobody but himself. Easy character. Next.
I don't want to see them again. Alive.
But they're just kids.
Oof, deja vu, am I right? Deja vu! Anyway, Baron von Plotz weirdly has the most drastic character arc in the movie, but it's nothing without precedence, I guess. At the beginning, he was a lawful evil, leaning neutral evil tax collector who is benefiting off the misery of Acme Falls. But it's very, very clear that he doesn't actively want suffering. He's just kinda greedy. Maybe this is an out of sight, out of mind situation, where as long as he doesn't see people suffering, he doesn't care. It's kinda shitty, but it's whatever. He does gradually turn around near the end of the movie and is just happy and fulfilled running a restaurant? Neutral by the end of the movie, I guess.
Yes. Fetch me the rats with wings.
These characters' inclusion was the formality of the Animaniacs cartoon. They serve the king against their will and are sent out as spy pigeons. They literally did nothing the whole movie except decide that they wanted the wish and got stuck in Pinky the Brain's flying machine. Chaotic neutral.
I know. If I were a policeman, I'd be happy. You are a policeman, Ralph. Oh, never mind.
Okay, so I'm actually gonna say Ralph is lawful neutral? He acts and behaves as dumb as a typical chaotic neutral in the show, but he pretty much follows all orders with complete loyalty, so whatever.
I'd wish retirement, you see, in a giant acorn tree, with everybody leaving me alone.
I mean, that's just chaotic neutral. Skippy isn't much different, to be honest. He's just a kid, and his whole motivation is the wish to have some friends. Neutral.
Silly puppy.
You would be forgiven if you don't remember these two. Buttons and Mindy's whole shtick was that Mindy would get into danger and Buttons the dog would keep her out of it, often getting hurt in the process, and their mom would always misinterpret or not understand what was happening. This is just slapstick comedy. Although satisfyingly, he does get his reward at the end of the movie, although it did take him 5 years to be rewarded properly. Neutral for the child, and the other is a lawful good boy. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. While we're on animals now, I guess, this horse is named Farfig Newton and is Pinky's neutral good girlfriend. Runt and Rita are also two animals that are just neutral but leaning good as well.
I would wish that every single person would appreciate me only for my mind, because I've got a mean IQ of 192.
Hello Nurse is a character who was kind of designed around the punchline that she's hot. And frankly, I think that's fine. Not every character needs to be Cersei Lannister. But the character in this movie ends up being the brains of a huge successful soda company at the end of the movie, and she is genuinely a nice person. I'm just gonna say lawful good and Nat 1 that she was kind of removed from the reboot out of fear that a bunch of smooth brains on Twitter would try to cancel a fairly woke show over her. Dr. Scratch and Sniff is her boss in this movie? Either way, he's just a good guy trying to make a living and is simultaneously a good surgeon and apothecary. His whole arc in this movie was trying to figure out how to sell his elixir, which he claims cures a bunch of diseases. Evidently it doesn't, since it doesn't cure Dot's mysterious disease. After getting some money, he rebrands and turns his elixir into a soda and adopts Runt and Rita. I'm just gonna say neutral at the beginning, but is neutral good by the end. After an extended and chaotic chase sequence, Wakko gives his enemy a refreshing elixir. Neutral good.
Once the Warners are disposed of, I'll proceed with making my wish.
Very good, sir.
Okay, Salad Bar, have it your way. But we know secrets about the star that you don't.
In order to stave off execution orders given by Salazar, the Warners bullshit him like 5 minutes of the movie. It's funny, but ultimately just leads to a chaotic neutral. Oh, although Dot gets an extra one, though, for her cuteness getting them away scot-free. Oh, also, one more for faking a deadly injury when Salazar shot them with cannons while they were running to the star.
I wish for not one, but 2 hay pennies.
Obviously, movie's got a movie. This is a joke. He ends up spending one of these hay pennies on an operation for Dot, which, yes, means this was neutral good. But then he spends the other one on
Burgers at the butcher's, blitzes at the baker's, groceries at the grocer's, season tickets for the Lakers.
Obviously, without any real-world context, this isn't possible, but whatever. Capitalism saved the town! Yay! Neutral!
Just cheer up and never ever give up. Hope, 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 hope.
Oh, right. Also, apparently the Warner siblings assume their rightful place on the throne, revealing a shockingly cursed image of their parents. Oh, I don't know. This image just gives me a big old helping of the heebies, and I was already carrying a bunch of jeebies. I didn't need to see this. Anyway, this movie is a good example of the Warners. Did they really change their alignments? I'd argue no, not really, but this is also a comedy show that is meant to be funny first and a story second. I just wanted an excuse to visit Animaniacs again. I mean, the show is already incredibly meta. Can you really blame me for wanting to exploit search engine results? The Animaniacs would respect me for it. Come on, you should too. If you haven't seen the reboot, I would actually recommend watching it on Hulu. And if you're one of those people who haven't been watching it because you've heard about the annoying political stuff, I will tell you, yeah, it is a problem. No, straight up it is. It's actually really frustrating at points. But it's still really good, and most of it, if you want, here's a list of the worst ones if you want to avoid just the annoying political stuff and just stick to the fun ones. Oh, but you should absolutely watch Bun Control. Yeah, it's one of the, it's on the nose and it's actually hilarious.
Just came by to introduce myself and show you my buns. Good night, everybody.
You get this amazing anime fight scene with a whole bunch of nonsense, but it's actually a really good time. And with that, check out our other alignment videos, and I'll see you next time.